today we have a special guest, Sarah Shake.
I'm gonna front 500,000, and my little internal ping was going off. This is starting to not feel right. He showed up at the bride's house on the day after the wedding.
Whoa.
And basically like threatens them and ransoms them that like, I have your footage. I knew on that last wedding, I just started like crying in the car because I was like, this is too much. Oh my God, I can just see the finish line. I'm right there at the end. And then they come up to me after someone from the family is like, okay, we'll meet you at the house. And like my heart just sank. The freedom of saying no, learning that some clients are just not for you and they're not worth the money. I was naturally always drawn to the camera, but it was a way to hide. Like looked at me weird. She's like, I really shouldn't hire you.
She said that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I looked in the mirror and I was so excited and like my heart was racing. I was like, what if I get married to him one day? I was like sitting in class and like my phone just started blowing up. I could sit here in school or I can like take a chance on myself.
What's up, guys? This is Kid. This is a brand new podcast called Mob, which is minority-owned business, where we talk about entrepreneurial journeys. And today we have a special guest, Sarah Shake. And she is a serial entrepreneur. She has owned multiple things. She has a creative studio, which is where we're at today. She also has a media company that has photographers and videographers, etc. So great to have you on the pod.
What a introduction.
I mean, I could be so like
grand.
the Manny Jen, the healer. I really could say a lot of stuff. My mentor, one of my mentors, my spiritual guide. Yeah, my person during some of the toughest times. We go way back.
Way back.
But welcome to the pod.
Years?
10 years.
Has it really been 10 years?
See. I mean, we probably knew probably 2016.
2016.
So it's about a
10.
decade. Dang.
Dang.
Those were the good old days. The good old days.
You've seen me from my editing cave struggles.
Amen. So one of the most fond memories that I have and most earliest memories is me and Dean. Shout out to the videographer that showed me the world. Me and Dean were always, it was Kid and Dex. I would call Dean Dex because he was always in the lab.
Always.
And he was always cooking up something. And when he went to live with you, I finally got to meet you. And when I thought Dean worked hard, then he does work hard, but I would say like I really saw what like super hard work was, because there'd be times where, you know, me and him are just BSing, we're thinking about another creative idea, and you're just like, you're having a conversation with us, but you're locked in at the same time, moving image to image, seeing which one, they look the same to me, but you're like, nah, her eye right here is this way, that way. And I was like, man, you would be there for like hours on end.
Yeah.
So talk about, I guess, first of all, let's go back. How did you get into photography in the first place?
That's a good question. I was very shy as a teenager. Actually, I found it hard to even just talk to people one-on-one because I was so anxious. So in high school, yeah, I was like, I had mad anxiety as a kid.
Like middle school? Like
school.
Elementary, middle school to high school?
Yeah. So like middle school, I think is where it got the worst, because you start really comparing yourself to everyone else. And like, I really just wanted to be a white girl that had the freedom and like not all this restriction. And like, I couldn't be that. So I was like, just really internalized a lot of things and had a lot of anger and frustration. I was like the emo goth kid. Is where I was headed. And then as a result, in high school, I also really didn't care too much about school and like grades. I just wanted to be creative. So anytime there was like an art class, I was in it. And then I found that you could do a photography class, and that was like a way of kind of skipping school. And I was like, that's freedom for me. Like, you get time to just go out and take pictures. And I was naturally always drawn to the camera, but it was a way to hide because I thought if you have something like to hide behind, you don't have to really like connect with people. You can just like take a picture from here and it's like artistic. And then eventually I learned that the whole thing of photography is relating to people and making people
so it kind of
comfortable.
actually connects people.
That was my healing modality, was like learning how to be with the camera and how to get others to relax and stuff too, because that led into my first real job, which was at a portrait studio. And again, I was like really, really shy.
Was this in Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up in Georgia?
Yeah, I was born in Kennesaw.
Okay.
So I started working in a portrait studio because I was fond of photography. And I thought a portrait studio was something way different then. I didn't realize like you'd have to be making like babies smile and like working with families. So that was so out of my comfort zone.
Coming from being shy,
never being around kids. So literally, like, I remember my first interview question, my boss was like, if I was a screaming, crying 2-year-old, what would you do to make me laugh? And I did not know what to do. And I just like picked up a stuffed animal and I shook it. And she just like looked at me weird. She's like, I really shouldn't hire you, but I need people because we're going to
She
Christmas.
said that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, I shouldn't hire you, but like I really need bodies at this point. So you're hired.
Oh my gosh.
So she took a chance on me. I started understanding that like how much you have to get out of your comfort zone and like crack yourself to like make a reaction to a baby or a child. And that's really what started making me understand that I'm way more of an extrovert actually. But I was always like an introvert growing up.
So photography got you out of that shell.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Was it confidence in like how exactly did it? Was like, oh, I'm taking these wonderful photos, like I feel confident about it, or was it like I have to just because I have to interact with these kids? And
it was a little mix of both. Like
okay.
I knew I only had a limited amount of time for each session. So even with that creates the pressure that like you only have 30 minutes.
Got to make the most out of it.
So we got to make the most. They don't want pictures of the kids crying.
Yeah.
They want to have a good experience. Then you get thrown in all these different situations where like you'll feel the energy is weird between the parents and the kids or whatever, and you're trying to make the best out of it, which often happens in the wedding world, which we know as well. So it's like the portrait studio started the photography stuff. Then I was like, okay, I want to see what weddings are like. So there's an Indian mall in Norcross, and me and my parents went one time, and there was a Indian wedding photographer in there, and I was like, I'm gonna go in there. I'm just gonna ask her a job.
Oh wow!
Like, I was just
you was bold.
I was bold.
Coming from a shy.
Yeah. Like,
wait, first of all, how long were you at the portrait?
I had started that at 18. Like 17, 18. That was the first job. And I was still doing that when I was
you're about to do.
What I was about to do.
Oh, okay.
But at that same time, did I go to him? Yeah, I went to him at 19. And then that was
Indian
more
guy.
like, and I had the portrait studio. So this was like side hustle. And like I was always doing multiple things because I like that. So I went in and asked for a job, and he was just like,
you weren't nervous at all? Was that just intuition? That
it was just like, hey, if you need extra help, I would love to learn. And like, I'm down to do whatever. If you need help in the studio, I do portrait photography. So I basically sold myself that I can be valuable in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, sure. We're always bringing people. Why don't you come learn? And he was my mentor for like the weddings, because he started throwing me into big Indian weddings. And I just remember being so excited that like, oh shoot, someone just gave me an opportunity, and like I'm not making a ton of money from it, but like the experience was like, oh, I'm getting paid to take photos. Like that's crazy.
Because you was gonna do it regardless.
Yeah, like I just love to do it anyway, but now I'm getting paid for it. And then me and him started becoming more closer to where like he started like always wanting me around, because he also understood that like people are a little bit more comfortable with a feminine woman like touching the bride and fixing. Whereas with the male, it's a little bit like not as comfortable. So he was starting to like really want to bring me to everything because he was like, people just like you, you're good. And,
that's good.
And then
you weren't nervous during those times either, like talking to the brides and.
No, by then my confidence had gotten.
Because that's like two years later.
Yeah. So like I really had to go through a solid 2 years of like unraveling my deepest fears to be like a clown in front of kids to really open me up to like, now I can shoot the shit with anyone.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing because like you're so relaxed and people feel that and they don't feel your anxiousness.
I mean, when you're going like this in front of the kids, I mean,
I had to make weird ass noises and like, and like get loud and stuff too. So you really have to overcome your fears of like, I look stupid.
So that was what it was.
Yeah.
And then you overcame that. You started working for him. And then it just, how long did that go?
It went until I got my marriage proposal. And then I had to give him the sad news.
Your marriage proposal?
Yeah. So when I was 21, I got a marriage proposal. And at that point, I kind of had to make a decision because
for those people who don't know, explain what a marriage proposal is.
Oh, I guess you're right. Not everyone knows. So it's basically like in South Asian culture, it's almost like setting up, a bride and a groom, like a boy and a girl that like, I want my daughter for your son or like vice versa.
Got you.
So like literally on my birthday, I was at a trade
21?
show. At 21 on my birthday, I was at a trade show with my photographer's mentor's wife. We were in Las Vegas and I got a call from my mom and she was like, oh my God, you just got this proposal. They want to marry you with this guy. I knew of the guy. He was actually like my first crush. At the ripe age of 11 when you first start liking boys and stuff. And I was just like, whoa, that's weird. Exactly 10 years later, I got the proposal. Wow. So that was my first understanding of what manifestation can really be.
You manifested that for sure.
I really did because at 11, I remember this scene of like running to the bathroom. They had came to our house to visit us. And I looked in the mirror and I was so excited and like my heart was racing. I was like, what if I get married to him one day? And I said that in the mirror.
Wow.
And then it happened. But it didn't work out.
Okay, got you.
Which is fine. It was still an experience. But anyway, I had to give the bad news to my boss and he was really upset because he was like, we had created like a nice system together and he really was like fond of it, but he was also happy for me and could let me go. And then I left Atlanta, moved to New York, and I continued to do the portrait studio up there because by then I could become like a manager and like I could work
so
my
that
way
company
up.
was
It
big?
was like a not worldwide, but US based.
Okay, so you
like
just
in every
moved,
state.
moved
I just moved to a different territory.
And then moved with him.
Yeah, with my ex.
Yeah. Okay, got you. Then you did that. Talk about that experience. That's a brand new spot. No.
Brand new, like marriage.
No.
Or like working there, business.
Yeah, just leaving everything in Atlanta
and starting there. Well, because like I had knew the business here of like the portrait studio. It was a job. Like I knew like you go there, you get paid hourly. You do all of that, like you do the work that you do and you go home and that's it. Like there's no editing and stuff like that. But by then I had already started picking up some like small weddings. My sister's friend was
in New York
married.
or in Atlanta?
In Atlanta first. So while I was working with the Indian photographer, his name is Vinod. A lot of the Atlanta people would know him. While I was working for him, people started approaching me because I was like known as like the girl with the camera. So like everyone in, my community was like, oh, you could bring your camera and that kind of stuff. So my sister's friend was getting married and was like, we don't have a budget. If she wants to just come shoot, why not? And I was like, okay, I'm down to do it. So I literally started with that.
So you did a whole free wedding?
I did a whole free wedding and then I posted it on my Facebook. And it was like some of the cheesiest editing that you will ever see, with like white vignettes and like sepia tone. Just really classic cheesy stuff from back then. And somehow people started like getting interested in it and asking me about birthdays and baby showers. And then I realized like, okay, I have something where like people are coming to me and maybe I need to start my own, like a name for my business.
Oh, okay.
And I actually came up with the name This Modern Love Photography in high school.
Dang.
When I was sitting with my friend and we were just like bullshitting, talking. And I was like, I can't do like Sarah Shake photography. I just can't have something basic. We're like talking, and then this song comes on the radio and it's called This Modern Love. And I just love that song. And I was like, what if it was like This Modern Love? Because it's like, my thing was like, go away from the, like, not go away from the tradition, but like modernize the tradition, because we're in a new thing, or we're going towards new stuff. And like the photography back then was super traditional and cheesy. Yeah. So like I wanted to be different. So I picked a different name.
Okay. So that was at like 20 then.
Yeah. I mean, actually that when I came up with the name was probably 18. I didn't really like incorporate it and stuff until much later, because I think in the beginning what happens is like you're working for so many other people that you're just like collecting checks from everyone.
Here's my own thing, here's this, here's that.
So like I'm getting a little bit of money here, and then when people started being like, well, can you take credit card?
That's when
like, I have to level it up and turn it into an LLC.
So it was just kind of a part-time thing for a while.
It was like, even while I was married, I started taking a little bit more, because I realized like it's a lot more money than what I make with the portrait studio. Yeah. Because with the portrait studio, I was maybe making like $12, $13 an hour, which really isn't a lot.
Your first wedding you did for free, but what was the first wedding you did that you charged, and how much was it?
It was a cousin. So I always have these family weddings. So a cousin was getting married, and he said they reached out to me because they were like, we know you do this. And by then I had been like maybe 2 years into like the weddings.
Oh yeah, we're working with him. Yeah.
So they asked me. They said they had a budget of $600.
Got you.
For 3 days.
Damn.
So basically $200 a day. And I thought that was the most money.
Yeah.
And I was like, $600? Yeah, I'll do it. And I worked my ass off at that wedding.
Absolutely.
And it was great. Like I thought I worked hard, and I thought the money matched what I worked, because I didn't know any better.
Because beforehand with working with your mentor, what was he charging you, paying?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
Or was he paying you?
He was paying me.
Oh, okay.
Because I would have like hours that I would clock. I would write my hours, and he trusted me. Like,
okay, well that's good.
And I'm not like gonna
that type of person.
I'm not
anyways.
gonna wing it, or not like lie or anything.
About it.
So like I would write down however long I would be in the office doing work, and I want to say that was like maybe 15 or 16. Okay. And then if I was on site at a wedding, I think maybe around like 20. Okay. Something around that. It wasn't a lot, but it wasn't nothing. It was something I felt comfortable like learning. Yeah. And then I realized like I started working for other companies. Like there's one company that's like US based that outsources you. And I started understanding like, okay, so the regular second shooter rate is 25. And then if you're a lead, it's like 50. Mm-hmm. And that was back then.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, okay, this is kind of the range. Like, and then that's what you just start kind of figuring it out over time once you're in the industry.
Got you. So, okay. Then you made your first $600.
Yeah, and I was so excited.
And then it kept going up from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think pricing was always a very, it's kind of a tough subject for freelancers, because like, how do you put your worth on a number, on time, on like deliverables, but also like how much work we have to do post. And I think that's where we kind of undervalue ourselves, is like, we'll think of like the shooting time as what we are charging, but we don't factor in like editing time. And that is really where all the work is. Because you can shoot, but like, how do you bring it all together and give it to your client and stuff? So I was definitely like devaluing myself in the beginning. Definitely a lot of years into it, but I don't even want to say that, because I think it was practice for me. Like, I always felt like I'm not a crazy expert, but like, because I'm self-taught, I didn't go to school for it. I only learned from my mentor and just like YouTube University. So like, when I wanted to learn off-camera flash, I did that. When I wanted to take a course on something, I would do that. But like, it's just, for the time that I was like actually doing it and making the money, I think it probably wasn't much. But like, in hindsight, I probably couldn't have asked for more, because I wouldn't have felt comfortable. And I know you can understand that from being in the same boat too. It's tough. It's tough to it's tough to say, because like, I think one of the things we learn how to be a good photographer or videographer or service provider, but we don't think about the business side as well. You know what I mean? So, and it's not really taught to us, unless maybe you go to school for it. But like, a lot of us don't. So we don't know, like, you know, numbers and negotiation strategies and what your true worth is. And so, like, did you kind of just take what's your budget, and whatever they said, you would kind of just like, if it made sense, that works for me? Yeah, a lot of it was that. So for how long? That was a few years of just like, well, what can you afford? And actually, early in my career is like when I was giving too much. So like, I remember even in my contract, I would be like unlimited hours. However long your event is, I'm there from the beginning to end. Wow. And then I had to learn probably in 3 different circumstances. By the third one, I was like, contract is changing and my policy is changing, because people take advantage of it. What happened? Both instances, both weddings were done at 4 a.m. And both weddings had a start time of like 7 a.m. So like, that continuous amount of shooting or traveling and shooting, and I was doing it alone. I didn't have a team. So it was really like taxing on me. Like, I knew on that last wedding that it was bad when like, so like, this is a really fond memory of like, I had just started like seeing Dean at that time, and I was texting him and I was like, this is really hard. Like, I think I'm almost done with the reception. I haven't ate anything. All my AA batteries are dying. My flashes are going out. It's just depleted. I'm just, my external battery is dying. My internal battery is dying. And I was just like really done. But I thought I was wrapping up, and he came and he showed up and he brought like donuts and batteries. And I just like, Dean. Yeah, Dean showed up. He was like, I'm coming to you or whatever. And I just started like crying in the car, because I was like, this is too much. But I was also like really thankful that like he understood that I needed help. And at that point, then I like got enough to eat the donuts and like got my batteries and went back in, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be done soon. And like, as they are doing their exit, they're getting into this big Hummer limousine thing, and I'm like, oh my God, I can just see the finish line. I'm right there. I'm at the end. And then they come up to me after, someone from the family is like, okay, we'll meet you at the house. And like, my heart just sank. Meet you at the house. I was like, what are they doing at the house? I was like, okay, we didn't discuss this. And they're like, oh, you have to get them going into their house, their married house. There's a ceremony we do, and then you can leave after that. Their house was a little over an hour away. So I'm in the car now, driving there. Get there to the house. They're not starting on time. I'm waiting. Finally, they come in, And they do all these ceremonies and it keeps going, it keeps going. It's probably like close to 3:30 at that point in the morning. And I was just like, man, like in my head, I was like, this is done. Like I will never do this again. And then they made me take pictures of them in their room. And like, that was just like a little bit weird for me that like, this was their marriage room. They had all the flowers. And I was like, I guess like traditionally I have seen that people do that, but I've never seen anyone do that here. And then also at 4 a.m, I'm just like done.
Yeah,
I want to go to sleep. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So that was really rough. And after that, I changed my contracts. And then I started understanding that I have to do an hourly type of package and give boundaries and limits because people take advantage.
Got you. So I guess if you recap those things, first of all, that's a lot. Like yeah, that's literally almost 24 hours of shooting. That's crazy.
And then think multiple days. There was 2 more days before then. So you think back-to-back days. People love Indian weddings, but they don't understand how hard they are.
So what are the top lessons that you learned from that?
You have to stand your ground on certain things. When it comes to pricing and stuff, like it's very easy for people to kind of manipulate or like lowball you or say so-and-so is doing this. But like when I started really valuing like what I provide as a photographer, like I'm not just taking photos, like you're getting fully guided by me. I'm helping you get the best photos. Like I coach you before, I give you tips. I'm like, I make sure you're comfortable. That is different than a lot of photographers that would just come and show up and shoot. So like when I started understanding that like, oh, there's more to my value than just clicking a picture. And then also in how I would negotiate with people, because a lot of times I was talking to the parents who are negotiating and, you know, saying, oh, it's for my son or my daughter. You're charging too much. Being okay saying no was something that I had to learn. But like the freedom of saying no, or like even down to like learning that some clients are just not for you and like they're not worth the money. So like I had a couple instances where like I had to sit with things and I was just like, this is not feeling right. I don't think the exchange is fair and like they're expecting too much of me. And I've refunded the money and been like, I don't think we're a good fit for each other after we've signed to work together. But I did it in enough notice that like she could find another photographer. But it was hard because it was like she was a wedding planner in the industry and she really loved working with me, but she was so type A that it just like felt very constricting for me. So like understanding these things, I had to really learn over time. But it's just like I was telling you before, is like sometimes you really have to learn that lesson so that you don't go back to the old ways.
Got you.
Of always saying yes, always over giving, all that kind of thing.
How were you able to how were you able to say no? Because that's a power that not, especially coming up, you don't really have that because you're like, man, I could really use this $1,000 package. Like this could be or my new lens that I want, or my light bill, my electricity bill. So how did you go of it? Was it just based off of experience?
I would say experience, and then the more I got better with like intuition and just like trusting myself, and like if I got a feeling from someone on the phone that like they're going to micromanage me or they don't trust me or there's some kind of disrespect, those are kind of the main red flags to me that like I don't want to go into business with someone.
Because then it'll bite you in the past.
Because you're going to have to deal with them after that. It's not just one day.
Yeah.
So like with that one wedding planner, I realized early on she expected a lot of my time. she wanted me to write her emails right back. If I didn't get back to her within 24 hours, I got follow-up emails. And I was like, dude, she's doing this like a year out from her wedding. What are we going to be like?
Yeah.
Like, I allocate time for my clients, but I was learning like boundaries and like how to establish like working hours and stuff, because when you're a freelancer, you're available all the time.
Yeah.
Your phone is on
24/7.
And then especially with brides, they're texting you at 2 a.m. And I was just like getting overwhelmed with like, this is too much and I'm making myself too available. But as soon as I started understanding like there's a polite way to say no, but also it's like it kind of commands respect. Like, hey, I value my time. I value our time when we're in meetings. And for me to be fully present, then I have to say no outside of that. And it's kind of, I mean, everyone has their belief or whatever. Some people would look at that and say, oh, you're like being a bad businesswoman by like, you know, not making yourself openly available and stuff. But like, to me, that's just what makes sense for me. And I would want to work with someone that I know like they value their time and they're not just like making themselves like go crazy trying to take care of everyone and then being all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100%. I would say, what about communication? Like early on, did you make communication? Because I would say for me, like those types of kind of relationships that I dealt with, like you're talking about like, okay, they're demanding, right? So I would have a conversation with them, and I wouldn't have a long conversation because I'm focused on this other client,
things.
this client, this client.
We're managing so many things.
Yeah. So then you have that conversation and you don't really pay attention to it. And then I realized like in the project, now I'm like, oh, shoot, there are some red flags that I didn't fully see. So like how much of communication did you like adjust during your earlier time to when you started to realize that I need boundaries so you could like see the red flags faster?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that it comes over time where like you start to pick up on your clients, and really what it is like when a bride or groom is anxious, when they have a lot of questions, you feel that out initially when you like do your first call with them. Then if you get like follow-up emails, if you get follow-up texts and they're long or like really drawn out and stuff, you're like, okay, this one needs more attention.
Got you.
So, and I, even to this day, I still get some clients like that, but I also now have done a lot of research and understanding about people, and like I really love to understand how people think and like why they are the way they are. I just love to study people. So like when I see an anxious bride that is kind of on me about all these things, I am seeing it that like they just need assurance that like things are going to be okay. So then like I started creating like helpful little PDFs that I messaged them the week of the wedding, that like, hey, like keep calm, drink a lot of water. The days are going to get busy. You're going to have family and friends over. It's going to be late nights. You're going to need to like take care of yourself. Like, so like little helpful reminders.
Wow. Yeah, I like that.
That way they feel like supported, but also like I'm not babying them, but just like, hey, these are key things to like look out for. And then I wrote a book, like a guide for brides, how to be a bride. And this was before AI. I just had that reminder the other day, is like, before AI, what was life like? And I literally wrote that book with like my own words, no help. None. But it was all the tips that like I wanted to give brides on like how to plan your wedding and how to be mentally ready. Because it was so many years of just like repeated issues with couples and brides and anxiety and like all this stuff. So like I wanted to create a source for it. But like I think the more that you kind of pick up on like people having these fears and stuff, it's usually because they either had another event, maybe someone in the family, and they had a bad experience.
Gotcha.
And as a result, they want to make sure it doesn't happen again. So that's a big thing. Or they actually struggle with anxiety. So they're worrying about the worst thing that can happen. They don't have a wedding planner. So they're trying to take on the role
and it's a lot.
Do everything and manage everything and enjoy a wedding. So those are like major things. When I see that they don't have a planner, when I see that they're like discombobulated all over the place, those are usually like red flags for me to be like, okay, well, I can help steer you in the right direction of like, get a planner. A lot of times budget's an issue, but like when you stress to people that like you're going to be stressing out on your wedding if you don't have one.
Yeah.
And you've seen it too, like where everything's late. Bride and groom can't relax because like shit's happening that they can't control. Families getting out of control. It is a shit show.
It's a shit show. Everybody's throwing poop at each other.
That is the sign of a wedding where like things are going wrong. But then as our job as like photographers and videographers is to make the shit show like a beautiful shit show.
In fact, well organized, everything's flowing.
Or just so beautiful. Like people want to have good memories of their wedding, but like don't realize their attitude actually affects a lot of it.
Got you. Well, that goes to experience, I would say. Would you, let's zoom out again. And so you was in New York.
Yeah.
You doing weddings there too. How long were you in New York for?
Like close to 3 years.
Okay. Doing wedding, is that when you kind of like fully had you LLC'd your business?
Yeah.
Like that.
By then I had went ahead and I want to say, I think I did it in 2013. So how many years?
Holy crap. 12.
12, yeah.
So you've been in business, you've been incorporated for 12 years.
Yeah, that's so wild.
When did you start being able to do this full time? Like this was all you were doing?
I would say officially 10 to 11 years, where it was just like, I'm doing me and I'm not really working for anyone else.
So 2015.
Yeah. Okay. By then it was just me. Before then it was always like, you're working for other people.
It was like a side hustle.
1099, getting that and stuff. But because I was also in school to become a nurse. And then I dropped out of school.
It was too much to do all of this, or you just realized you didn't enjoy it?
I realized I didn't enjoy being in school. I realized I was sitting in my class and I was like, I'm doing I had been a year and a half into the nursing school, and it was fine. You're studying, you're doing all that. But like my heart wasn't in it, but I felt like that's what was like expected of me. And also like my dad had passed away a little bit before then. So I was like, oh, being a nurse would be like helping the world. And the nurses helped us so much. So like I was trying to fulfill that thing. But then I was like sitting in class and like my phone just started blowing up. Like I was just posting regular like weddings and that kind of stuff. But like all of a sudden all these inquiries came. And it was like I had this literally, like I remember sitting in class and I was like looking at my phone. And I was like, I could sit here in school and finish it out and maybe make like $50 an hour doing that work I don't really want to be doing. Or I can like take a chance on myself. And like that thought dropped into me. And then like something just picked me up and made me walk out of that class, and I never went back. Wow. Right in that moment. Yeah. Just in that time, I was just like, what am I doing? I'm just going to go all in on me. Like I have a skill. And then of course the fears come in of like, well, how do you know you're going to make money next month? Like you literally don't know. Yeah. But I never let that fear overcome me. It was always just like, we'll figure it out. Like let the money just come. And then when I realized like, some months would be really good, some months wouldn't be, but like it all kind of balances out. And then the more I trusted And the more I improved and the more I leveled up and the more I grew my team, I was like, oh shoot, this is turning into something way bigger.
So that was in New York. So were you teetered, like, were you contemplating doing it by yourself, like before that time, or kind of just hit you right then and there?
What do you mean by myself?
Like doing it, like go all in on your business.
Yeah, I mean,
What were you? I was thinking about it.
In the beginning, I didn't have the confidence. I was just like, oh,
it would be
like,
nice. But
yeah,
like,
that's too much, or like that's gonna be too hard. How am I gonna do all this? And then my ex-husband at the time wanted to join and do video with me because he was like, well, you do photo, I can learn video, and we can just be together. And I was like, I don't know, this is kind of my thing. But he wanted to, so he invested in all the equipment, and then we saw that like we were not working that good together, like very conflicting ways of doing things. But you try to make it work. But anyway, like I was getting a lot of weddings back in Atlanta, so I was traveling back here a lot.
Got you.
And then once I decided, like once the divorce was settled and like we're good, I stayed in New York maybe like 6 more months, and then I was like, why am I here? I want to go back to Atlanta. So then I moved back down, and then that's kind of when I went back to school because I thought
for the nursing.
For the nursing, I was like, I have to do something. I can't just like, you know,
you got to make some money.
I got it. Yeah, like I had the weddings, but I didn't believe in it.
And
like
you weren't doing the portrait thing at when you got back.
Once I was leaving gotta get like my timelines. It's so long ago. So it's like, I think I stopped doing it in New York before I moved back. Cause I could already feel that like things in the portrait studio world were like a little bit weird. And I was like, oh yeah, that was it. They hired like this new district manager that would like snoop on us. And like, he saw that I had my own business. And like he was like a district manager, and he was like, you can't have that and be working for us. And I was like, but it's two separate things. Like I'm not going to the portrait people telling them to work with me for weddings. But he was like really just not making things sit well with me. So then I quit that job then. I was like, I don't need to be in this then. So I was just doing my own weddings. Then I moved. Then that's when I started doing the school, balancing school and weddings.
And where were you living?
In the townhouse.
Okay.
The one you.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Got you.
So I was probably
so you did it all by yourself, like
11
you weren't like this was all your money, like you. So when you say you went all in, I'm thinking like, yeah, you went all in, but you know your mom or dad were like. You were living at your mom and dad's, and like, no, you got your own spot, you moved, you quit school, and you did it all right there.
So like, it kind of gets a little, I had some help. Like we had a family, the townhouse was the family house.
Just a combo, yeah.
So like, that's where the money went to kind of like, you know, we'd have to put money into something, but then I was kind of the one to help run it and stuff. And like, I was paying the bills and that kind of thing. But like, luckily my family did have money to like put
some to help into the
house.
Got
so like that was a huge blessing.
Got you.
That was able to give me like some cushion because
but you still had all the overhead though.
I still had all the overhead. And then even with that, like getting different studios and like we had the one in Norcross.
Yeah, I remember that.
So like doing all stuff like that, like
just trying
to figure out like what I'm supposed to be doing. But I did have a little help with the house thing, so that was really good and helped me. Aside from that, though, it was just all about like, okay, how am I going to scale? How am I going to like build the team up? Because also by then I realized like I don't want to work alone. Like I hated going to stuff alone because it's just shitty.
Yeah, it's like by yourself. You're just, so you built your team. How did you then grow it? What was the thing that you look back and say like I did this and this is how like if I would have just focused on this, like it would grow even bigger. Like this is what did it.
I think in the beginning, I was just hiring anyone, kind of like how that portrait manager was just like, I need a body.
Yeah.
And I wasn't being discerning on like who I was working with. I wasn't as knowledgeable about energy and like people's intentions. I kind of do believe in the best of people. So like by getting screwed over by a certain individual, a videographer, I really thought I was gonna have to like close my business because he really messed things up for me.
Oh wow.
Because I had contracted him out to shoot for me, and we had a good working relationship for about like a year.
Oh wow.
So he had done quite a few weddings with me. He had liked doing it. He was good. He liked the rate and everything. And then there was one wedding that I outsourced him, but they didn't book for photography, so I wasn't with him.
Yeah, you just had him do it.
So he's just showing up, and he's going there, and he shoots the entire thing. And then I just got such a weird feeling because he stopped responding to me after the wedding. Normally that's like, okay, where are we going to meet? We're going to exchange the footage. And then I always paid on time and that kind of thing. So he had no reason to really like doubt me other than like his own intentions and greed, I guess. Cause like, I think he either asked someone like, oh, what did she charge you? And then he's seeing like his rate, and then he's seeing there's like, yeah,
there's a difference.
There's a difference. It's my editing. It's my company. Like, I'm
your
running
brand,
the whole thing,
your this, all the expenses that you,
Yeah. So like he didn't like that difference. And it really wasn't that much. Like I was kind of splitting it 50-50. Like it was like, I made sure he's getting paid his time. But he showed up at the bride's house on the day after the wedding.
Whoa.
And basically like threatens them and ransoms them that like, I have your footage. I'm the videographer. I don't work with her. So you have to pay me to get your stuff. I'm not associated with her.
Whoa.
So like at that point, I just went into super like fight or flight and just like, oh my God, like I'm going to have to shut down my business. Like this is going to get around to everyone. People are going to know like that it's all messed up. And so I had to hire a lawyer and get my money together and like pay $500 for her to draft a letter of demand. And then we had to chase him down. It was like such a long ordeal, many, many months, because he was dodging. Like he knew we were trying to serve him papers. He wouldn't leave his apartment. So then he messed me up with that client and two other older clients where like he was supposed to edit for and he wasn't finishing.
Oh man.
So like one of the clients is a family friend.
Oh man.
And so I told him, I was like, we need to get him, like we need to catch him. So he planned to meet him in a coffee shop. So then we had a private investigator too. So like, it was like this whole scene. And so they get in the coffee shop and then the private investigator serves him the paper. And then we finally go to court and then I won. But then he just skipped out on town and no one ever heard from him again. So it's like all that ordeal.
So you won the court, but you still didn't get the footage. But you got the footage.
I didn't get the footage.
So they didn't have their wedding video? So
the first original people, I don't know if they ever got anything. I refunded them everything they paid me. I was just like, here, we're going to do this. So I'm just completely out. You take that money and pay him and you deal with it. Yeah, but they already had like versions. I think they just got like a highlight. They only got that and they didn't get the full thing that I had promised them. I think by then he just said, screw everyone, I'm out. But you gave him a refund and you did what you could do. I did my part on my obligation. That's very important to me. And just with the last one, you just said it is what it was. Yeah, it's just. Do you look back and you would have done anything different? I don't know, because other than hiring him, like if you were in that situation, would you have did the situation differently with that guy? With that, instead of going to the court out doing this, doing that. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like now I look at it and I'm like, it really wasn't worth all the drama and the headache of the court. And like when you get law involved and you get these papers, it was just really, and this was like, God, I was maybe like 27, 28. So it was just like a lot. And then like the thought of like having to like shut down my business, it was just like, I thought this was going to end me. But like in reality, just like refunding their money, giving it back to them, and just being like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. It's unfortunate, but I can't help how people will be. And
unfortunately, well, I mean, overall, they were fine. Like they were fine.
Yeah, I mean, they understood and they still like support me. And that's been a beautiful thing to see, is like, even throughout all of that, like that client,
your clients,
still really values me. She pays attention to my social media. She's always supporting me.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So it's like, it wasn't bad blood. And I think that was more important to me, that like people don't think I'm just a freaking scam artist.
Oh yeah, I mean, it wasn't on you. I just think with sometimes, like, it sounds like you fought fire with fire, and I think like sometimes in business, it's better to just like not fight fire with fire and just let the situation, like if you would have said, because he was in the wrong, but if you would have maybe said, hey, you're owed, let's just say it was 3,000, you gave him 15 and he wants the other 15, I think it would have been almost, unfortunately it would have been better to just give him the 15 so you can get the footage back. And like, instead of going through this court thing, paying this, paying that, and then he dips out, and like, it's not like you sued him, you countersued him, and you got $10,000, right? Like, he just dipped, and then
that was it.
That was it. So I think
it wasn't worth the headache.
I think it would have just been like, look, I'll give you 15, give me all the footage back. And then a lesson I've always learned is that as a business owner, like, not to, well, I don't know if this is a great idea or not, but not to always have backups, redundancies. Like, if you fully trust in a team member, they could fuck up. Like, even if it's not on accident, like, they could still fuck up. But if you have a backup of whatever it is, then you're okay. And I think like what you probably should have done is like, as soon as you film, you upload it to there. I guess with the last client, you couldn't have done that because he had it. But I'm saying the
first one,
the first couple ones, if it was already in a drive, like, you wouldn't even like care, and then you could just stick it.
Yeah, that was kind of my mistake of like trusting, because I do trust people a lot, and I think the last few years I have learned again and again that like not everyone can be trusted. And you do have to be discerning on like who you work with.
But that's tough, because like, how would you, especially if you had a relationship for a year, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, and he was fine that entire time. Like, he loved the weddings. He seemed grateful. We had a good working relationship. Even like, he went to New York, paid for his stuff to go to New York to shoot with me there. And he was just like really good. And then I don't know where things flipped, where like he was just done and he wanted more. But instead of coming to me, like, like to just avoid me. And then like, you went to the wedding, you did all, like, he had to have gone in with some weird intentions.
Did you have a conversation with him like, hey?
No, he never picked up the phone or anything after that point. So he got the details for the wedding.
Wow.
Which was all normal. And we were texting and stuff like, okay, are you ready? I sent you everything. You're good. And he's like, yeah. And then it was nothing.
Never heard him. Wow. So yeah, I mean, you couldn't even account for that.
I didn't know it was going to happen. But
just backing up, saving your tail, back up everything.
Back up, and then I guess if I would have had another shooter, that could have been like salvageable.
But then that's like another cost.
It is another cost, but it's also a backup.
Yeah. Well, then your package has to be different then, huh?
Yeah, or like that's part of it. Like, that has shown me too that like in weddings, it is good to have two shooters. Something can happen.
Yeah, you never
and
know.
you never know. So like, at least if you have some footage, it's better than no footage and stuff. So like, there's ways around it. But like, again, like I always keep just saying, it's all learning experience. And then I did get very clear on the type of people that I do want to work with. And then
how did you get clear on building the right team?
I would say once I started learning about energy and like vibration and all these more esoteric things, I started understanding that you can actually like manifest and almost even kind of pray for the right people to be in your world, because I started understanding that like for weddings, it's like the vibe that you bring and stuff. It really depends on everyone working together cohesively. And when I started seeing like with, you know, someone else I was working with, when they were being in my ear and they were telling me all the wrong things I was doing and like making me feel really like on edge, I started understanding like, okay, I can't have this at a wedding. Like I need like not even so much of a power thing that I need to be the power and the lead and stuff. It's more so like in a group, there has to be someone to take more of a director role. And there has to be a team cohesiveness that everyone is in flow.
Yeah.
Like it can't be me bossing everyone around. That is something you will never see. In fact, like a lot of my second shooters have had to even like tell me what you want me to do, because I'm so used to just trying to like do everything myself. And they're like, you are paying me, let me serve you. And so that's taken many years for me to just be like, oh man, I can just show up with my stuff and like they get it all ready. And like then I just get to come in and do my thing. But like how I love having this type of crew, because it just makes it smoother, because they want to work, they like the environment, they like working together, it's a good time. And actually now I really enjoy it, because like it's like we're catching up every time we get together, and like there's this cool vibe of like supporting each other. Like me and Catherine, she's one of my lead videographers, that I've developed a very close friendship, because you can be friends and colleagues and work together, and you know, her work under my brand, you can do all of that in a good, respectful way. But there's times where like we'll be shooting and I blink out, and I don't even have to tell her, she can see it on me. And like I'll just look at her like, do you need to get a shot? And she's like, I got you. And she'll step in and she'll start directing.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a second to rest. Nice. I'll look back at my inspo. I'll get myself back up again, and then I'll go in. And there's times where she wants to be more on the back end and not really directing. And like, I think that's really cool too, that like you can work together.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Oh man. Well,
it's a good vibe.
Yeah, I think, and you definitely don't need anybody being negative, you know, in your life. So I guess when you talked about like energy, you know, because for some people who
don't know,
aren't fully in tune with energy, vibration, I guess if you could be specific on how you find the right person, versus just they got to have good energy in that, because I feel like you need to know energy and vibration to say, oh, it's the right energy. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think I really only started learning about energy and vibration through weddings.
Got you.
Because I could like walk into a room and I could instantly know something was wrong without anyone saying anything. So usually what it would be is like we walk in and like either the makeup artist and the bride are having something because she don't like the way she looks, and the makeup artist is feeling it, and you're just like the air feels thick. And I got really intrigued with that. Like, how do I know this without anyone telling me they just got in a fight? And then also with my ex at the time, we would get into a fight and we were working together. So we would have a fight at home and then we would go into a wedding.
Kind of spill over.
And it would spill over. And sure enough, if we were in a bad mood at home and we were fighting and we got to work, everything else would just go wrong and it would just spiral out. And I was like, oh man, I gotta understand this. So that's actually what led me first into like learning about Reiki and healing and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, we have some bad energy in the house. Like it was just so many things that like started opening up. And I would say like, if people are trying to understand what energy is, it's just like, it's really going off of how you feel when you're with someone. So if you're with someone and you feel like constricted, or you feel like you can't breathe, or you feel like if they, like we had one bride that just like would not stop complaining. And the groom was just trying to make it so positive, and like he was trying so hard, and she just kept dogging him. And we were just like, oh my God, this is like, it's exhausting to be around and stuff. So like when you start picking up on these energy tactics and these things that happen, then you start to become aware of like how you appear and then how other people appear. And then that's where you start to get discerning on like, who do you want to be working with?
Okay. And then you just sense it. Are they radiating like the same type of energy that you can just feel?
You can feel. Okay. Yeah. It's like, gotcha. It's very instant. It's also the same way that like there's wedding vendors that you know that are like, there's certain people in the industry that like, if I see their name on the thing, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a little bit challenging, because they're always the ones complaining. They're always the ones huffing and puffing, yelling at their team, bossing them around. And it's just like creates a weird environment.
Okay. I got you.
And you'll pick up on that over time of like, you know, who brings their internal stress to the wedding world that is already so, you know, chaotic.
Well, I like that. I'm trying to think of how about that? What would you recommend for people to kind of, if they wanted to be more like aware of energy and vibration, like what's a tip or strategy or book to look into? What is one thing you could say anybody could just like, boom, here's what you need to know? I would say
for sure one of my starter books was The 4 Agreements.
The 4 Agreements.
Have you heard of that?
No.
So there's 4 agreements, like 4 principles, and I think I can remember all of them right now. If not, I'll look on my phone, but I think I can. So these are just kind of like life principles to live by. And it's, God, now they're all wanting to float. Be impeccable with your word. So basically don't talk shit. Don't assume. That is something we tend to do, is assume. I'm losing the rest now. I'm just gonna look.
I could put it on. Yeah. I could put it on the.
Be impeccable with your words. So speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. That's all under the same thing. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Don't take anything personally. This was the one that I had to learn the most, because I used to just take things so personally.
Like the way people would say something specifically, or just their body language.
Anything. It was just like everything was a reflection of I'm not doing it right. Especially with who I was dating at that time. He was like, anything he said to me that was trying to be helpful, I took it the wrong way. So, and then always do your best. So those are just like the main 4 agreements to start using in your life. If you're wanting to learn more about energy, I would definitely start like understanding your energy centers in your body, because we have so many. But the main 6 that like from your roots to your crown, these are like energy centers that we have that get blocked. So sometimes when you feel like you can't express yourself, that's like your throat is getting blocked and you have to get it balanced. So there's different ones when you're feeling pressure around money, security, family, that kind of stuff. That's your root. Your root ties you to your family, security, all that kind of stuff. So like understanding that really started helping me, like, oh, there's like more to my energy body. I would also say start paying attention to like how you feel. So like when you get around certain people, do they bring you energy, or do you like immediately feel like, oh my God, I want to go run away?
How strong do you use that now? Like, because sometimes I would say that for me, I like logically speaking, they sound like we had a good conversation. Not you, I just in general. Like I'll have a conversation with someone. Logically speaking, we had a good conversation, but something felt a little different. But I can't pinpoint what it was. So I would maybe like discard what it. But I think since you're more aware, would that be a thing or would that not be a thing? And would you go with your intuition, like, okay, that was not the best hire? Like, let's say if it was a hire or
Like
a
if
team
you,
member I was going to
okay,
work
you were
with.
gonna, okay, so the
Just like-
situation is like you got like a little ping.
Yeah.
Call it like a ping.
Yeah, a slight ping, but when I'm looking at the resume, when I'm looking at the portfolio, when I'm looking at what they're saying, everything else sounds good, but there's a ping. So how, like, versus where you were, where are you now? How would you approach it differently?
I would say I'm way more in tune now to understand these pings in my body. Usually for people, I think like you too, when I looked up your chart, you make decisions with your sacral. So our sacral is like underneath the navel. That's like your gut. So if you get like that gut feeling of like, that's a hell yes or a hell no, your gut is telling you that like, this is good for you or bad. But that's when logical mind wants to come in and throw you off. And be like, oh, well, the resume is good. Like, that's kind of like with the guy that I hired that screwed me over. Everything was good on paper. He was good. But like, was I paying attention to any of that back then? No, I didn't even know any of that existed. So like, nothing was telling me no. I was just like, okay, I can trust. But now, like when I do go through that, like for instance, I was looking for some help this weekend coming up because I was like, I have a small little event. I can have someone come shoot some BTS or do some video. And like I'm talking to people and just immediately like getting a sense of like what they're about and stuff. And like, I'm just like, that's not a good fit. Like, I'll just know like it's just not resonating with me. And it is because I do a lot more energy work, so I'm really aware.
And you act on those pings a little bit more, a lot more now. It's like if you feel that, then
it's
let's go this other direction.
Yeah, I mean, even you remember the situation with the investor guy. So it was like someone wants to invest in my business, do all this stuff, do all these big plans, and it just seemed like.
I know we're talking long. Talk about that one story though, because. That's empowering for you to say no, because like
that
especially when money's coming under. So tell me about that story real quick.
Okay, so I met this investor man and his wife, and everything seemed really good at first. They were really intrigued with the work that I do with the sound healing and all this kind of stuff. They had never done it before. We met at a networking thing. And they're good people. They're just like good-natured people. So we instantly clicked. But where things started to kind of turn was like they came in for a session. The wife came in as well. They started doing the energy work. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Like I love to bring healing to families. I saw that they were open. They were ready. And then he wants to start doing business with me. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's talk. Let's have a meeting. Also though, like, again, this has been a really interesting year with me and business boundaries and learning people and this kind of stuff, being discerning. So we go into this meeting and he's like asking me all my financials, and he's an investor. So he loves my sound healing. He's like, we can open up more places, all this kind of stuff. I'm going to front like 500,000 and that's how much I believe in it, and like we can do big things together.
$500,000.
$500,000. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. Someone really sees in my vision of this. Great, that's fine. That's cool. But then as we started going deeper into it, I would have to make my photography business partnered with him. He would want 50% ownership of it. So I was like, okay, I guess that's like collateral. Like you have to have that. But the bigger kicker was like, he had this conversation with me. And I wonder if he will ever watch this and see it. But, the way we had this talk, he was just like, you know, like when I do business with people, like and he's a good natured man. Like that's the thing. He wants to help so many people, and he does all these franchise businesses and non-franchise. So he has a really big talent for that. But he was like, so when I work with people, you know, like for you like this, there's God, and then there's gonna be me. And then it can be like you have a significant other, that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, I'm not really even with anyone. So that's like my family is what's next or whatever. And he's like, we're going to be really like in relationship with together. It's a business partnership. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I think my little internal ping was going off. Ping, 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 ping. Like, this is starting to not feel right. You know, like, I see what he wants to do. It could turn into something great. Also, a big part of it too was like, he was questionable about what the sound healing with the religion. And he's going through things with like the, you know, being Muslim, and he doesn't want people to like see him a certain way and stuff. And they wanted to come watch me do a sound bath to like monitor how I'm doing it. There was all these like external things that I was just like, okay, like I get it. Like he's putting up this money. He wants to feel good about it. Fine. But the more I felt into it, I was like, you know what? Like this was our meeting was like the second time we met. So to me, then I felt like it was like very like rushing. Like if it felt like he was excited about it because he had a sound bath and he felt that experience of like what it did to him, and he wanted everyone to know about it. He was excited. He was like, everyone needs this. I did a 5-minute sound bath at their office just to test it out with them, and he loved it. They booked the very next day to come, and they did the private with me, and they loved it. So after that, he was like, we got to tell everyone. But it's also like, you know, you're in that excitement thing. And for me, I'm like, okay, we can build together. Like if we keep continuing working together, like if we show each other the investment of our time and like the money and that kind of stuff, like it'll all come if we keep building. So to me, I was like, whoa. Like to me, let's back it up, because business partnerships are like marriages, and I'm not about to marry you. Like I'm not about to go into this partnership just after one time working together. Like, and I'm not, also if I commit to this thing of getting the $500,000, what am I gonna have to do? Like I've always been my own boss. I've always been able to pick up, go to Portugal, pick up, go to Pakistan, pick up, go to New York. But now do I have to like report to someone? And then I started understanding that like with 500,000 comes like more of a burden, or more of like an expectation that I have to perform. Now I'm going to have to do monthly check-ins with him. Now I'm going to have to be like, if I'm not hitting quota and stuff. And to me, it just felt like all this pressure. And I said, no. And I put a stop to it. And I was just like, you know what? The money is enticing. It would be great. He was like, well, how much do you need a month to like, you know, to live? And so I started saying like what I'm paying and stuff. He was like, okay, so maybe like, you know, 10,000 a month. So he's already like trying to salary me into this, which it makes sense. But then again, now I'm turning my business into a job where I'm expected to perform, whereas now I have complete freedom.
Got you.
And to me, nothing is worth more than your freedom. Because as soon as it's like selling your soul, like what people do in the music industry and stuff, you sell to go to a label, but now you're like, you're dishing out what they want.
You're a slave to what they want.
And I can't. I'm a very sovereign person. I'm into energy work. And then also another kind of red flag for me was like, he only did one real session. And so he never kept up with it. And then all the plans that we made of like, I was like, we need to bring this into your businesses and your own team. And he was really excited about it, but no forward movement on it.
Got you.
So like, to me, those are actions of like, he's really excited. He sees the opportunity. It's a good business model. It can do great. It's helping the world. But like, when you're not actually doing it for your own people, then I'm looking at that like, do I want to do business with that?
Yeah.
And then even further, I was like, well, if he finds my business that like attractive to put up $500,000 to help me expand and have multiple locations, I need to believe in it to do it myself.
Got you.
And that's when I started understanding like, oh shit, I gotta like turn this into something bigger. Boss up on my own.
Okay.
So now
a lot of pings, and it was enticing, but So would you then, and we'll start wrapping it up, but because I'm asking so many questions.
No, it's working.
Would you recommend? Would you recommend people having 9-to-5s or starting their own business? Because for me, from what it sounds like, you saying your freedom is so much more valuable. But I also know that you've gone through, a lot of ups and downs with your business, finding people, dealing with some of the drama with hiring the wrong team and trying to have a relationship with that. So the first question then I would ask is, how, like, would you recommend people having 9-to-5s or people having a business? If you could look back on it, if I gave you $150,000 a year for 10 years, or you be an entrepreneur, which one would you take?
100% entrepreneur. But that is because I'm wired that way.
Okay.
And not everyone is wired to do business.
Got you.
Not everyone is wired to be a business owner. Not everyone is wired to do 9-to-5.
Why do you say 100%?
Huh?
Why do you say 100%? Like, you didn't even think about it.
I knew it. I mean, for me.
Yeah, I got you.
For me, and then.
Is it because of the freedom then? Or?
It's a lot because of the freedom. For me, I cannot, like, I can't imagine a life where I have to do something like at strict, structured times. Like, to me, that feels like so much pressure and constriction.
Okay.
Like, I did that. The most I did that was with the portrait studio, because you had a clock in time and a clock out. But even that was still kind of free flowing because you're seeing different people and your day is a little bit different. But then weddings I loved because, like, you're also, like, you're committed to work with people, but then, like, you have time where, like, you're not working with them, and then you work with them, and then you have to finish it, and then you're done. So, like, there's something about that is enticing for someone like me, because there's not like I have to do this every single day, and I'm just not wired that way. And especially now that I'm like into the energy world, and I do sound healing, and I like to do events, and I like to do this kind of stuff, I need freedom and flexibility.
Got you. So then what would you recommend the average person to do then?
I would say people need to look internally and see what feels good for them, because some people like the structure schedule. Some people like not having to promote themselves, not having to run a whole business. Like, I love social media. I love sharing my work. I love having like natural magnetism that people come to me. I don't chase business.
Yeah.
And that's been also a really big thing to learn in these years is like, I've just been me and I've been able to attract. And a lot of us have that. A lot of us don't want to open that up, and they want to work for other people. Because also it's not bad to do that either. Like, there were so many years that I worked for other people, being in the job world, getting contract jobs.
Yeah.
And that worked for that time because it helped me build my confidence. But then I saw I'm just naturally more of a leader. I need to step into that.
Okay.
I don't need to like shy away from it.
Well then, second question, what is a thing, like, what is something that most people don't know about entrepreneurship that you would like to educate them about?
I think it takes a lot of like understanding yourself and like what your message is and how you're different. Because there's so many people doing the same thing, it's easy to get like caught up and trying to be like everyone else and like matching their prices and being like your like, what do they say when everyone is like in the same price range and stuff, like market value and stuff, like the fair market value of photography is this. Like, it's so easy to just stay in that boat, but like when you understand your own value and what you're bringing and how you're different, then that can help you actually make your business stand out in a crowd. And that's hard for people because they don't really know who they are and what their message is.
Ooh, I like that. That was a good one. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, so finding the truth. Okay. Third question, and then we're almost done with these ones. If you could go back, if you could review your entire entrepreneurship journey from where you are now to what all the mistakes you made, what is the one thing you would have done differently?
I think I would say, I mean, I had to do that. I'm like, I was leaning towards just saying the boundary thing because like that took me a lot of time.
Placing boundaries. Okay.
That took
That's
me
fair.
many, many years to get comfortable, so comfortable to the point where like now I stay and do not disturb 24/7.
I see. Yeah.
And I don't come off
Yeah.
unless like I have to, maybe on a wedding day. I do sometimes on a wedding day, but then I'm like, I really don't even like to do that because I like to be locked into what I'm doing, but I need to be like on alert in case something happens. So
Okay. Yeah, mentally that's probably given you like the biggest impact, like stress wise.
Yeah, and like a lot of people would look at it and say, oh, you're a business owner and you should be on always and you're missing out on business opportunities. Or like, what if a client I've had so many clients call me and I don't pick up.
But now they're on your time and now you're not on their time. So that's buying your time
it's
back.
Already putting like, hey, I'm doing other things. Like I had a really good example of this the other day. Funny enough, it's always, that's so interesting how it's the same person. So that same planner that like I had the thing with that I returned her money for her wedding, we still work together and we still see each other and stuff. And one time I was in a production recently when I was in New York, and she starts blowing up my phone 2-3 times. And then she's like, Sarah, I need to talk to you. And I was just like, oh, wow, she still doesn't get it. Like, even at, like, it's been 10 years almost, I think. And like, I'm not on your time. I'm in a production.
Got you.
I will get back to you.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't have a time that we were connecting. Like, when I have meetings, I honor the meetings. I'm there. That's why I have a schedule.
Yeah.
So that is like honoring the boundaries of like, you don't just call and just like vent to me or need a therapy session. We make a time for it, and that's what it is. So like, I would definitely say the boundary thing, because there was so many times in the beginning that I would just make myself available, and I always thought like, oh, they're paying me and I owe it to them to talk to them whenever they want.
I love that. I think I'm on D&D most of the time now too.
Yeah, I see that
people's
now.
schedule and
You joined the D&D
Oh yeah.
train.
Facts. If you and I have to tell people because I have it where D&D is set up where if they want to reach me, they can call twice.
I didn't know you
because
it
can go past.
It can go past it.
Yeah, like if they call twice, it'll actually call and you'll get them. But if it's just I think yours just goes. Yeah, yours just ain't no good. Which you can change the settings, but mine automatically went. They call twice, and then that's when you can get it. And sometimes, like my friends, like recently, I had a girl that's a friend. She texted me, and I'm on D&D, and then she texted me and it notifies, it made the noise.
Yeah.
So I was like, so you have to purposely press notify anyway, which is one of the things. So I told her don't do that. You know what I mean? And she's I'm sorry. I do that with all my friends. I'm like,
no,
not me. And I didn't say it in a disrespectful way, but I did say I use this time to really lock in. So unless it's important, don't send it like that. And I tell my family and friends all the time, if I'm on D&D, only call me twice if it's an emergency, because I'm usually locked in with whatever I need to do. And that small little distraction can ruin up 30 minutes to an hour of productivity.
So quickly.
You know what I mean?
That is a really good point.
Yeah.
I just do it because I don't know. I don't like the notifications and stuff. I hate, I pick up my nephew's phone and it's just every 2 seconds.
Yeah, it frees you. With Instagram and all these social media apps, I don't get notifications. I don't even get my emails. I'll check my email daily, but I don't purposely have it like that because I don't want to be a slave to new message.
We're definitely on that side of it.
Yeah.
I think again, because you're valuing your time. Because when you're doing something, you're all in.
Yeah.
You don't want to be half in and half I got to worry about this.
You don't get anything done.
You don't. And then your focus is just completely shot.
Then you can't sleep. It's so.
The anxiety, all of it.
Okay, so getting back to Mob. This is one of the last questions. Mob. As a minority, can you talk a little bit about the difficulties that you may have? Because I do remember you said, even growing up, you wanted to be a white girl. So
I guess the white name.
Sarah, yeah. That's definitely.
My parents did good with that with me.
So just talk about, I guess, the difficulties, the challenges, the mindset you had, and talk a little bit about that.
That's a good question. I would say because I am American born, I always just considered myself American, but because I'm first generation here and my parents immigrated, I saw the struggle that my dad went through, and he was a business owner as well. He had multiple gas stations and that kind of stuff, which is not easy, but presented its own challenges. And also for him coming to the US and stuff that, it's a big move to leave the country you're from and then come somewhere new and really build something. So that alone in itself was just okay, I saw that, but I never even looked at that and was oh, well, my dad had a business, I need to have a business. It's almost business just kind of fell into me naturally. And I would say the minority thing, because my niche is in my minority, I've had I've had an edge with it because people want to book us because we know these weddings. On the other side though, I don't really get white weddings. I don't really get other than South Asian weddings. I don't really get that, but that is because you look at my page, you see what I do. And I'm fine with it. I'm fine to do an American wedding if I like need to and that kind of stuff, I do find that like I get a little bit bored at those weddings because it's not as intense. And I like something about me likes the chaos of the Indian wedding because like I know how to be grounded and I know how to like get what I need to get, and that like satisfies me. But I would say my thing with my business was more so like there were more males. It's a more male dominated industry. So when I came up, I was probably like the only female.
Wow.
In the very beginning. Now there's so many more, and I see more coming up, and I get excited that like it's more women doing it, because it's like people just think, oh, photography is just like a little cute little hobby thing. But when you can actually like turn it into something where like I could invest my money to build out a studio, and now I'm doing more things, and like to me that's like, oh shoot, like we're going even bigger with our dreams and stuff. So like being minority and being female, it's like, okay, wow, like no one in my lineage has done this kind of stuff, and I'm creative and I'm into different things and stuff. So I love that I'm bringing like diversity to like my culture and stuff too, where like the women are expected to get married, which I did. The women are expected to have kids. I didn't do that, but like that was the role, is like you're meant to get married, you're meant to have kids, and you're meant to be serving your husband, and you don't really need a career. And so like I was going that way, and then I made a left turn and then just went around, and now people don't, you know, like there's not this big pressure around like having a business or having a family or having whatever. It's just like I'm learning like I can just be me.
I love that. Wow. I love that. And then last question, the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see you and your business be going? Businesses.
3 to 5 years, I would love to be doing more retreats. I love retreats. I love like the sound healing. I love plant medicine. I have like many sides to me. So like that is something I want to help people with, because the plant medicines have really opened me up to being my best self, healing relationships within my family, becoming even more like productive, and like getting my ideas grounded and stuff. It's really helped so much with that. And I want people to step into that, because I know what it's like to be in this other realm where like you're frustrated, you want to do more, but you don't have the support. And I feel like a lot of us struggle with that. So I'd love to be like hosting more retreats, doing more sound baths, globally. Would love to be doing that. I also do filmmaking, so I am working on this series with my colleague where we go to different countries and we explore what happens with sound vibration when we hear the sounds of the earth. And that's been really rewarding to like combine my love for filmmaking and sound and travel. So I'd love to be doing all that more. I don't know where my business will be with the weddings, like if it's going to just slow down, or like I don't have a big vision of like scaling so much, because I don't like, my heart is not there. But I want to best serve the people who do want to invest and work with me and my team. So like maybe it's taking less weddings. Like last year or this year, I think I've only done like 10 or 11, and that feels really good for me to do way less, because I can pour into other things. So I'm okay with the photography slowing down on the wedding side and being more like intentional about the weddings that we take. Definitely would love to see the studio grow more, have more people joining, like the community and the membership type of model that I want to bring, because I think this studio has a really cool concept that it's like wellness based and like helping people with their creativity. I've done like business coaching before, but I don't really see myself as that. I think I'm more of like a guide. Like I like guiding people, and I like helping them learn the tools that they can do
Love it.
themselves.
Yeah.
And that they're not like relying on me. So like making people really sovereign and finding their own freedom in different ways. So I don't know how to sum that up shorter.
You got a lot going on. That's going to be a great 3 to 5 years.
Yeah. And then eventually I want to have a family. Would love to explore those options when everything opens up. But till then, I'm just being me and enjoying the time.
Amen. Well, where do people follow you? And yeah.
So if you'd like to follow me, I have many pages on Instagram. My studio is This Modern Collective. My wedding photography is This Modern Love Photo. And then my healing and spiritual IG page is Mystic Minnie Jen.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the very first episode. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on our channels. And you are now in tune to the mob.